We all have these little facts we live by, like breakfast is the most important meal of the day, or that we only have five senses. Well, what if I told you that in the next few minutes, we're going to blow those ideas right out of the water? We're going to show you why some of these everyday facts are just completely wrong.
Seriously, just think about your day for a second. From the moment you wake up to when you go to bed, what if the so-called rules you follow are actually just myths?
So let's start with the very first lie of the day. It's one that's been served up to us on a plate, literally, ever since we were kids, the golden rule of breakfast.
Come on, we've all heard this a million times, right? From our parents, our teachers, probably even our doctors. It sounds like this fundamental law of health. But here's the kicker, it was pretty much just invented to sell cereal.
Yeah, the truth is, this golden rule wasn't some big medical discovery. It was an absolutely brilliant marketing slogan cooked up in the early 1900s by none other than John Harvey Kellogg to sell his brand new invention, cornflakes. And man, was it effective. Food companies are still riding that wave today.
So what do we know now? Well, the scientific consensus is pretty clear. Your overall diet, what you eat throughout the whole day, and your lifestyle matter way more than the timing of one single meal. In fact, tons of people are thriving by skipping breakfast entirely, doing things like intermittent fasting. The takeaway is simple. Your body runs on total energy, not a clock. If you're hungry when you wake up, eat. If not, don't sweat it. Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving from what you put in your body to how you experience reality itself. Because it turns out the way we all sense the world is so much more incredible than what they taught us in school. You know the list: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. This idea of five basic senses is ancient. I mean, it goes all the way back to the philosopher Aristotle, and for centuries, we've just kind of accepted it as fact.
But here's the thing. The reality is way more complex. Scientists now agree that we have at least 9 distinct senses, and some even argue for more than 20. Those famous 5? They're really just the tip of the sensory iceberg.
So let's look at some of these hidden senses. Your vestibular sense, that's what gives you your balance. Thermoception is how you feel hot and cold. And then there's this really cool one called proprioception. It's your brain's amazing awareness of where all your body parts are in space. In fact, try this right now. Close your eyes and touch your finger to the tip of your nose. The fact you can do that without looking, that's proprioception at work. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, next up, picture this. You're having a perfect day at the beach, and suddenly, ouch, you've been stung by a jellyfish. Now, what's the very first solution that pops into your head? If you're thinking of a certain scene from a very famous TV show, you are definitely not alone.
We've all seen it, right? That dramatic moment where a very brave friend, well, you know what they do. It's become this iconic piece of survival trivia, but I'm here to tell you, it's not just wrong. It's actually a terrible idea.
So here's exactly why that movie-inspired fix is so dangerous. Depending on its chemical makeup, urine can actually trigger the thousands of tiny, unfired stingers left on your skin to release even more venom. So instead of fixing the problem, you could literally be making it so much worse. You're just adding fuel to the fire.
So here's what you should actually do. First things first, rinse the area with seawater. And listen, never use fresh water because that can also trigger the stingers. Then, as soon as you possibly can, soak the area in hot water. The heat helps break down the toxins and will give you some real relief.
All right, let's bring our day to a close by tackling a myth that really only comes out in the dark. What do you do if you find someone sleepwalking? It turns out the common wisdom on this is actually pretty dangerous.
We've all been told this forever. Whatever you do, don't wake up a sleepwalker. It could give them a heart attack or put them into shock. Well, guess what? The truth is the complete opposite. The real danger is in not waking them up while they're wandering unconsciously towards a flight of stairs or an open door.
You know, this myth comes from old superstitions about the soul leaving the body during sleep. It has nothing to do with medical science. So what actually happens if you wake someone up? Sure, they're going to be super groggy and confused for a minute as their brain has to reboot from a deep sleep cycle, but they won't be physically harmed at all.
So here's the correct way to handle it. Your first move should always be to just gently try and guide them back to their bed. But if they're heading towards stairs, a window, or anything that could be dangerous, you absolutely should wake them up. Their safety is the #1 priority, period.
So what's the big takeaway here? What did these myths about breakfast, our senses, jellyfish stings, and sleepwalkers all have in common? Well, they prove that common sense isn't always so sensible. It just goes to show you how easily misinformation,
whether it's from clever marketing, old superstitions, or even a Hollywood script, can become something we all just accept as truth. And that kind of leads us to our final thought. I mean, learning the truth about these specific myths is fun, for sure. But the real lesson is learning to be curious and to question the things we just take for granted. So I'll leave you with this. What widely held belief are you going to look into next?